Good evening, everyone. Welcome to the Tempe City Council regular council meeting. Item number 1 is call to order. Council meetings can be watched in real time via Cox Cable Channel 11 and at tempe.gov/tempe11. Members of the public may also attend the meeting virtually through Microsoft Teams. Where's the echo coming from?
Over here. It's these three on this side.
I'm going to try this
I think it
again.
was me, Mayor. I was unmuted.
Oh, that was you. Okay.
Oh, right.
Thank you, Councilmember Keating. No worries. All right, just as a note, once again, if you're here to speak on items designated as public hearing items later on in the agenda, please know that you will have an opportunity to speak when I introduce those items at the time of their public hearing. The City Council and I will need to complete the other items of business leading up to those items, so we appreciate your patience. If you wish to speak on a public hearing item and you haven't filled out a speaker card yet, please make sure to fill out and submit your completed card to the city clerk prior to the agenda item coming forward for council discussion. I will call your name when it is your turn for public comment. I'd now like to invite everyone who's able and willing to stand to join me in a moment of silence, followed by the Pledge of Allegiance. Thank you. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you very much. Tonight's agenda has a number of items that the City Council must consider in order to conduct city business. Guidelines for conduct at City Council meetings are on the table near the entrance for those in attendance at tonight's meeting. We will now play a video with the proper protocol for ensuring the appropriate conduct at City Council meetings.
The City of Tempe welcomes public comment at this time. Disruptive behavior will not be allowed. Continued disruptive behavior will lead to removal from the council chambers. We need to be able to hear everyone in the room. Behavior that disrupts, disturbs, or otherwise impedes the orderly conduct of any city council meeting is not helpful and is not permitted. This includes behavior both inside and outside of the council chambers. Should individuals inside the council chambers become disruptive so that city business is not able to be conducted, the mayor will first ask that the individuals allow city business to be completed. There will be time for public comment during the call to the audience portion of the meeting. If no cooperation, the mayor will issue a verbal warning and let them know that the continued disruptive behavior will lead to removal from the council chambers. If there is still no cooperation, the mayor will issue a second verbal warning and let them know that the continued disruptive behavior will lead to removal from the council chambers. If there is no cooperation after asking and 2 verbal warnings, then the mayor will ask security officers to remove only those individuals who are causing the disruption. Security personnel should not engage in any way, but only escort them from the council chambers. If individuals refuse to leave, security personnel shall warn them that they are trespassing and that the next step will be arrest by a Tempe police officer. Tempe officers may have to arrest if individuals refuse to leave. Charges for trespass and disorderly conduct may apply, as well as other charges. Should anyone be asked to be removed, the mayor will recess the meeting.
Thank you very much. We're now going to play a video conveying the City of Tempe's Native Land Acknowledgement Statement.
We wish to acknowledge that Tempe is the homeland of the Native people who have inhabited this landscape since time immemorial. These ancestral lands of the O'odham, known as Pima, Peeposh, known as the Maricopa, and their ancestors extend far beyond our city. This land continues to be spiritually connected to the O'odham of the Salt River Pima, Maricopa Indian Community, and Gila River Indian Community. We accept the responsibility of stewarding those places and solemnly pledge to consider this commitment in every action.
Thank you very much. Next up, we're going to turn to item number 4 at meeting minutes. Tonight, I'll be assisted by Councilmember Navarro. Councilmember?
Thank you, Mayor. I'd like to make approval for City Council meeting minutes 4-1A.
Okay, it's been moved by Councilmember Navarro that we move forward with item 4A1. Do we have a second? Seconded by Councilmember Garland. Please vote.
Yes.
And that item passes 7-0. Next up, item 4B, acceptance of board, commission, and committee minutes. Councilmember Navarro.
Thank you, Mayor. Yep, just looking for acceptance of Board and Commission meeting minutes from 4B1 through 4B17.
Okay, it's been moved by Councilmember Navarro and seconded by Vice Mayor Adams. Please vote.
Yes.
And that item also passes 7-0. Next up, that brings me to item number 5, reports and announcements. I've got a number of announcements, and council, you are willing to, you could join me if you would like. All right, we've got several announcements this evening. First up, I'm going to start with item 5A1, Law Day Award Ceremony and Law Day Proclamation. So, as a note here, the wonderful artwork displayed in the council chambers today ushers in another year celebrating Law Day. The posters here are for the winners for Best Artistic Impression for this year's theme, Voices of Democracy. In addition to the art contest, the city hosted Law Day at the public library. An event including learning and fun with the Tempe Municipal Court presiding judge Kevin Kane, who also shared more about the 2024 Law Day theme. The Tempe History Museum is currently featuring all student submissions from now to May 5th. So I want to here read this proclamation and then bring up the winners. So the proclamation reads, whereas Law Day, held annually on May 1st, is a national day set aside to celebrate the rule of law, and many celebrate and promote the themes selected by the American Bar Association each year for weeks before. And whereas Law Day celebrations provide an opportunity to understand how law and the legal process protect our liberty, strive to achieve justice, and contribute to the freedoms that all Americans share. And whereas the 2024 Law Day theme, Voices of Democracy, encourages Americans to participate in the 2024 elections, deepen their understanding of the electoral process, and discuss issues in honest and civil ways. And whereas since 2002, the Tempe Municipal Court has celebrated Law Day by sending a city judge and staff to various Tempe elementary schools, kids' zone programs, and recently to the City of Tempe Library to present an interactive program about the selected theme for 4th, 5th, and 6th graders. And whereas the interactive presentations educate students on the theme, allow students to engage and ask questions to city judges, and invite students to participate in an art contest, which allows each student to draw, paint, sketch, or make a collage depicting their understanding of the Law Day theme. And whereas the City of Tempe and the Tempe Municipal Court are dedicated to educating our youth about the importance of the rule of law and its critical role in our society. And whereas the Tempe Municipal Court seeks to cultivate a deeper understanding of the judicial system and the freedoms it strives to guarantee. Now, therefore, I, Corey Woods, Mayor of the City of Tempe, Arizona, do hereby declare May 1st, 2024 as Law Day in Tempe, Arizona. So please join me in congratulating this year's Law Day Art Contest winners. So, first place, we have Blinder Wardenar. Thank you. Congratulations. Second place, Cash Blazek. Nina Yarrington. Sebastian Baker. Our two third place winners, first up, Brielle 2. And Jocelyn Trevino. And our two honorable mentions this year, Nicola Viren and Penny Hernandez. Before we take the group picture too, I'd like to invite our Kids Zone folks down, our staff, and our teachers to come down and join us for the photo as well. So if you're a Kids Zone instructor or our teachers, please come down and join us in the front.
Stand behind that.
Can I ask a very quick question here? So who's up here whose name I didn't pronounce? What's your name? Virginia. Okay. Oh, a third time winner we have at the front here, Virginia Gracie Jeanette. Please give her a round of applause as well.
You're right. Come this way a little bit. Everybody slide this way. All right. Can I help you turn around on this side? All right, everybody, look right here for me. Big smiles. Ready? 1, 2, 3. And we're going to do that again. Ready? Big smiles. 1, 2, 3. Don't blink. One more time. 1, 2, 3. Gotcha.
We'll go, kiddo!
All right. Next up here, item 582, ASU Sun Devil Men's Swim Day Proclamation.
Yeah. Woo. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh. No, that's 582. Ooh. What do you have next? Actually, therapy. You know what? I'll do that one. Let's do this actually really quickly here, just to make sure I can go in the order in which Jason has them. I'm going to go to item 5A4 instead, which is National Therapy Animal Day Proclamation. Is John here?
What about the little guy?
There's John. And there's a puppy.
There's a puppy. Oh, yeah. It's not silly, though.
Oh, there we go.
Oh, yeah.
There we go.
We need the puppy up for a picture. I think our puppy. There you go.
All right, so this proclamation reads, whereas there are thousands of Pet Partners therapy animal teams serving in communities across the United States, and whereas Pet Partners has designated April 30th as National Therapy Animal Day, and whereas scientific research shows that interacting with therapy animals can reduce stress, relieve depression, slow heart rate, lower blood pressure, and strengthen the immune system. And whereas therapy animal teams of the city of Tempe play an essential role in improving human health and well-being through the human-animal bond. And whereas therapy animal teams interact with a variety of people in our community, including veterans, seniors, patients, students, and those approaching end of life. And whereas these exceptional therapy animals who partner with their human companions bring comfort and healing to those in need. And whereas we encourage more pet owners to consider becoming Pet Partners volunteers to help our community by creating greater access to meaningful therapy animal visits. And whereas the city of Tempe salutes the service of therapy animal teams in our community and in our communities across the nation, and encourage all of our residents to celebrate our therapy animals and their human handlers. Now, therefore, I, Corey Woods, Mayor of the City of Tempe, Arizona, do hereby declare April 30th, 2024 as National Therapy Animal Day in Tempe, Arizona.
Big smiles, everybody. 1, 2, 3, and one more. And then we get a close up of you guys with the dog. There we go. Got it. Okay.
Nice.
Thank you.
Good job, Gracie. Thank you. Yeah.
And all right, staff, if you want some of these seats, you can come on up now. They're open, see? So, looks very open up here.
Come on down.
All right.
Don't be shy.
Now, we're going to go to the,
Oh,
see.
yeah.
let me see here,
Of the
Can I-
swim team?
yes, okay, let's go ahead then. We're going to show the video, item 5A3, ASU Sun Devil Men's Swim Day Proclamation, so cue the video.
Your 2024 National Championship team with a score of 523 and a half points is Arizona State University.
Yeah, go Devils.
The Division I championship banner. Congratulations, the Arizona State Sun Devils.
Yeah.
I'd now like to bring 3 of those team members up here. Aaliyah Karoon. Zelen Zakarni. Hubie Kosh. And it's all the if that's all the rest of the team, you all got to come up. Let's do this.
Congratulations. Yeah, it's awesome. Good job, you guys. I've been bragging about you guys, by the way. Congratulations. Maybe we let's see how maybe we should go.
You go wherever you like.
We'll get it from you guys. Nice job, you guys. Good job. Congratulations.
I don't have a choice. All right, so this proclamation that's going to be read behind a bunch of very tall men, so no one will ever see me read it. The disembodied voice of Mayor Corey Woods. This is the best thing I've ever done. And Tanya, I hear you laughing at me. You know what? Watch this. Hold on here. Hold on, go here. How's that? No? I'll take the wireless. He's got a wireless for me. I would totally just yell, but the people at home wouldn't be able to hear me, so.
Check. There we go.
There we go. Thank you, sir. Well, that was the most interesting thing I've done probably in 12 years. All right, so this proclamation reads, whereas the hard work, dedication, sportsmanship, talent, and exceptional team chemistry of the 2024 ASU Sun Devils swim and dive team have culminated in an extraordinary achievement, the team's first NCAA title in its history. And whereas under the guidance of former head coach Bob Bowman and current head coach Herbie Boehm, the 2024 Sun Devil Swim and Dive team exhibited unparalleled prowess, marking one of the most dominant showings in NCAA history. Their remarkable performance included breaking 9 school records and 3 NCAA records over the course of a remarkable 4-day competition. While the triumph was undoubtedly a result of a total team effort, the individual contributions of standout athletes shone brightly. And whereas Leon Marchand, you folks in the back are like mouthing words I'm trying to say here. Leon Marchand completed his ascent to becoming the most dominant NCAA swimmer in the history of the sport, with an illustrious record boasting 17 Pac-12 championships, 10 NCAA championships, and 3 Men's College Swimmer of the Year awards. Holding the all-time record in 7 events, Marchand's boundless talent and dedication propel him toward the global stage as he prepares to showcase his skills at the 2024 Summer Olympics in Paris. And whereas Leah Karoon's remarkable achievements as a 6-time Pac-12 champion, winner of the 200 butterfly national title, breaker of the NCAA record in the 400 medley relay, and recipient of the prestigious NCAA Freshman of the Year award, have etched his name into the annals of collegiate swimming history. And whereas Zolan Sarkani's crowning moment as NCAA champion in the 1650 freestyle, coupled with his exceptional dominance in every distance race he swam, exemplified the epitome of excellence. He proudly stands as the first Sun Devil ever to claim this prestigious title. And whereas Patrick Salmon, Jack Dolan, Johnny Kulo, and Hubert Koss have achieved the pinnacle of success as national champions and record holders in NCAA relay races, securing their legacy in Sun Devil history with their outstanding achievements and ensuring their names will forever be etched in the Sun Devil record books. And whereas the city of Tempe takes great pride in recognizing and celebrating the ASU Sun Devil swim and dive team as not just champions in the pool, but also as champions of this community. Now, therefore, I, Corey Woods, mayor of the city of Tempe, Arizona, do hereby enthusiastically congratulate the Sun Devil swim and dive team on their outstanding accomplishment and declare March 30th, 2024 as ASU Sun Devil Swim and Dive Day in Tempe, Arizona.
Smiles, what's up? 1, 2, 3. Gonna do another one. Don't blink. 1, 2, 3. Got it. All right.
I was together swimmers now, so yeah, so I know it's a lot of work. And kind of quiet. Congratulations. Good. Take care.
I'll keep it here for a second. All right. So the next up one we have here is ASU Sun Devil Men's Wrestling Day proclamation, and we're going to go ahead and cue the video up first. All right, is Richard Figueroa here?
Come on up. Oh, don't be shy. Let's go. Let's go.
Yeah, there's a little suspense. All right, this proclamation reads, whereas the Sun Devil wrestling team under the leadership of head coach Zeke Jones and his incredible staff achieved extraordinary success in the 2024 season, finishing 6th in the country and winning the Pac-12 championship. The team's achievement includes sending 8 wrestlers to the NCAA championship, highlighting their depth and talent. And whereas prior to joining ASU, Richard Figueroa established himself as the #1 pound-for-pound recruit in America, boasting an impressive record that includes 3 California state championships and a gold medal in the freestyle UWW Junior Nationals. And whereas Richard Figueroa, now a junior wrestler of exceptional talent and dedication, has earned the admiration of our community through his remarkable achievements, including being undefeated 15-0 in his freshman season of college wrestling. And whereas Richard Figueroa's impressive year culminated in him being named the 2024 Pac-12 champion, 2024 Pac-12 Wrestler of the Year, NCAA All-American, and 2024 NWCA Scholar All-American. And whereas Richard Figueroa's monumental performance at the NCAA championship, culminating in a 5-0 record and clinching the NCAA champion title in the 125-pound bracket with a 7-2 decision. And whereas the city of Tempe is proud to recognize Richard Figueroa on his remarkable accomplishments thus far and looks forward to his success in the future. Now, therefore, I, Corey Woods, mayor of the city of Tempe, Arizona, do hereby enthusiastically, I can't say that word tonight, I don't know what's wrong with me, enthusiastically congratulate Richard Figueroa on his incredible achievements for the Sun Devil men's wrestling team and declare March 23rd, 2024 as Richard Figueroa Day in Tempe, Arizona.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Keep up the good work. Wow. You got some pretty good doctor out there. You're gonna get me in trouble.
All right, next up here. Okay, we've got a video for item 5A5, which is the U.S. Green Building Council Gold Level City Award.
Good evening, Mayor, City Council members, city staff, and fellow Tempeans. My name is Sean Swisher. I'm an architect here in Tempe and also serve as the chair for Tempe Sustainability and Resilience Commission. On behalf of the SRC, I'd like to congratulate the City of Tempe and celebrate everyone who contributed to setting our city apart as a leader in sustainability and innovation by working to achieve the Lead for Cities Gold certification, a globally recognized symbol of excellence in sustainable urban planning. First, I want to extend a heartfelt congratulations and many thanks to our Mayor and City Council. Their unwavering commitment and support for sustainable initiatives have been instrumental in achieving this milestone. Thanks to their leadership, we are not only preparing Tempe for a brighter future, but also setting a higher standard for cities across the nation. And none of this would have been possible without the hard work and dedication of our city staff and the Sustainability and Resilience Commission. And specifically, former Vice Chair Barbie Burke. Your efforts have truly made a difference, turning ambitious plans into tangible results. Thank you for everything you do. In Tempe, we've shone brightly in reducing our carbon footprint, enhancing our resiliency infrastructure, and improving sustainable transportation options. These efforts not only conserve resources, but also enhance the quality of life for all our residents. While today is a day for celebration, it is also a moment to look forward. We embrace this achievement as a milestone, not a final destination. We must continue to strive to make Tempe an even more livable, sustainable, and resilient community for generations to come. Thank you once again to everyone who played a role in earning this incredible honor. Together, let's keep pushing the boundaries of what's possible for our city. Congratulations, Tempe, on going gold.
All right, I'd now like to call up our Sustainability and Resilience Commission members who are in the audience, as well as our staff. Come on down. All right. Ah, come on in the middle. No, that's not for me. That's for someone else. Eric, you take that. Barbie. I'll take it in a second. It's okay. All right. So it is true. If you leave with the plaque of the proclamation, you have not done your job. So I've learned that myself through experience. So I really am honored to share this announcement this evening. No better time, of course, than the conclusion of Earth Month. So the city of Tempe, as we talked about in the video, and as Sean talked about, has achieved LEED Gold certification, an international symbol of excellence recognized by the U.S. Green Building Council. And actually, I've always wanted to say this. Tempe is so green that we are actually now gold. I should also say that Tempe is the only city in Arizona to achieve LEED Gold certification. And one of only 5 LEED certified communities statewide. Being LEED certified to the gold level is a huge honor and is the result of community advocacy, dedicated staff, and a committed council. We have with us Emery Ledin from the U.S. Green Building Council to present us with the plaque. And I want to make sure, too, though, I wanted to say thank you all. This is so big. I remember when we first started, Kendon, when you were chair, we had a really good conversation, probably during my first or second month as mayor. And the biggest thing Kendon said was, we've done a really great job with the department and the commission of really kind of getting things up and running and talking about what we need to do to move this city forward when it comes to climate change, sustainability, and resilience. but we're really at a point now in our city's history where we have to start getting policies passed that actually are really going to set up the city and frankly our society for greatness and success for generations and decades to come. And so I remember that conversation nearly 4 years ago, and I'm just so excited that we're all standing up here today celebrating this remarkable accomplishment. So once again, thank you very much to our Sustainability and Resilience Commission. Thank you to our staff for your leadership, for everything you've done, and thank you, council, for backing all of these efforts up. Like, this is a total team effort and could not be done without any of these people standing up here. So I want to say thank you very much, all of you. And with that said, we're going to take a couple of photos.
No, you're fine, sorry.
All right, here we go. Yes. Big smiles. 1, 2, 3, don't blink. And one more. Remember not to blink. Smile. Gotcha.
Okay, so quickly before we go, can we do one with the commission by themselves? We don't want to do one with the staff by themselves as well.
Yeah,
So
absolutely.
commission, Kendra,
Right.
I can perhaps hand this to you?
Congratulations.
And Barbie?
Definitely Barbie.
There we go.
Might not need me anymore.
Well, this makes it easy. Smile. We're going to do one more. Gotcha. Okay.
All right, and staff, if you could make sure you come forward here as well, please.
Are they gonna do it with us or if they want?
Get in there. No, just staff.
Staff?
Just staff.
Just step. Okay,
Oh,
there
you're
you
welcome.
go.
Here we go.
There you go. Oh, wait. Yeah, we gotta even up. Even up. There we go.
That looks good. All right, gotcha. Ready? 1, 2, 3. One more like that. Big smiles.
All right. Nice job, guys.
Eric, ever the humble man's trying to give it back to me. I'm like, no, you get to keep that. That's yours. All right. All right. So next up, 5A6, Clean Up Papago Park Appreciation Proclamation. And like the others, we have a video for this one as well. So please turn your attention to the screen.
All right now.
We noticed there was a lot more trash in the Parks and Preserve in 2020. We figured, hey, this is something we can do. Let's just do it ourselves. And so that's how it came about. We're not just a nonprofit that wants to clean up trash. We're a nonprofit with a background in replanting, cutting down on spider trails, fixing the trails, the existing trails, making it more beautiful and more accessible than what it is now.
Trust me, we're just getting started. Trust me, we're just getting started. Trust me, we're just getting started. Just getting started. Just getting started.
So what we're doing out here, it's Earth Day. And so Clean Up Papago every year does a big cleanup. And we're gonna take our trash picker-uppers, we're gonna take those blue buckets, we're gonna take trash bags, we're gonna head out into the park, we're gonna spread out everywhere, and we're gonna clean up as much as we can and have a good time while we're doing it. Just leaving the spaces and places, better than we found them.
I was looking for a group that kind of took that initiative to clean up and keep the parks clean. And then when I saw them, I said, well, I go to this park quite a lot. They clean up once a month. Why not just join and help?
I would say anyone who has the benefit and the privilege of enjoying outside spaces has also a duty, an obligation, a calling to be a steward of those spaces. And so to just check out, especially on Earth Day, there are cleanup efforts going on all over the country, all over the world. So there's no shortage of ways to get involved.
It's grown in the sense that I think it's created more awareness. It's created hopefully more passion for people to not litter, but also when they see that litter, whether they're hiking or just walking, like, hey, I can pick up that piece of trash and I can put it where it actually needs to go. But if you follow us at our web address, cleanuppapago.org, and on Instagram, that's the best way to know what's coming up. Get your hands dirty with us. Pick up trash with us. Fix the trails with us. Do replanting projects with us. It's good for physical health. It's good for mental health. It doesn't matter what income bracket you're a part of, you can enjoy Papago Park and Preserve. And it should be enjoyed by people, and it should be respected at the same time.
Good job, Kelly.
All right, could Kelly, Marione, Jess, and Mindy come forward and join us? That's way too quiet. We gotta go on. All right. So this proclamation reads, whereas the preservation of our natural areas requires ongoing stewardship and dedication from individuals and organizations committed to environmental sustainability. And whereas Clean Up Papago, a grassroots organization founded by Kelly Choyu and supported by Marion Choyu, Jess Dobbs, and Mindy Barr, has demonstrated unwavering dedication to the preservation and enhancement of Papago Preserve and its surrounding areas through their tireless efforts in organizing cleanup events, promoting environmental education, and fostering community engagement. And since their inception, Clean Up Papago has engaged 703 volunteers for over 1,858 service hours to pick up 10,105 pounds of trash, diverting 500 of those pounds to recycling programs. And whereas Clean Up Papago's commitment to conservation has not only enhanced the aesthetic appeal of Papago Preserve, but has also contributed to the promotion of a healthier environment, serving as an inspiring example for all residents to take an active role in the care and preservation of our natural resources. And whereas the City of Tempe recognizes the collaborative spirit and the outstanding contributions of Clean Up Papago and their volunteers to the preservation of Papago Preserve and appreciates their dedication to environmental stewardship, community engagement, and nurturing a culture of sustainability. Now, therefore, I, Corey D. Woods, Mayor of the City of Tempe, Arizona, do hereby declare April 25th, 2024 as Clean Up Papago Appreciation Day in Tempe, Arizona. Oh, you're coming. You gotta come. You gotta come. You gotta blend in here. You have to be in the middle. Oh.
Okay, big smiles. 1, 2, 3. One more and don't blink. 1, 2, 3.
Nice job, guys. Thank you. Nice job. Bye-bye.
One more here.
This is proclamation night. Not a council
It
meeting.
is. All right, so next up here, we have a proclamation for Mental Health Awareness Month. And do I have someone from our Care 7 team or to come on down and accept this? Oh, excellent. Paul Bentley, Chief Duty, Chief McCoy, Chief Reese. All right. So this proclamation reads, whereas the City of Tempe is proud to recognize May as Mental Health Awareness Month to raise awareness of available city and community resources, while also helping to break the stigma surrounding mental health. And whereas we are encouraging everyone in the community to focus on the healing value of connecting, prioritizing mental health, reaching out for help, and acknowledging that it's okay to not be okay. And whereas no one should feel alone in their struggle and should know that resources are available for those in need. And whereas Tempe's Community Health and Human Services Department is committed to offering city resources and collaborating with community and nonprofit partners to address immediate and long-term needs. And whereas Care 7, the city's crisis response program, offers 24/7 crisis response services, mental health crisis response, support groups, youth specialists, and victim and veteran services. And whereas the city's counseling services offers professional, low-cost counseling services through licensed clinicians to the Tempe community. And whereas the Tempe Police Department and Community Health and Human Services Department continue to partner with Solari Crisis and Human Services to ensure 911 callers get specialized mental health assistance in Tempe. And whereas residents are invited to join Care 7's Be Kind to Your Mind 5K Run and Walk May 11th to promote health and wellness. And whereas the Tempe City Council is proud to partner with the Chandler City Council to raise awareness about resources. And whereas the City of Tempe encourages all residents this month and beyond to consider how they can make a difference in the lives of a friend, family member, or neighbor who might be struggling. Now, therefore, I, Corey Woods, Mayor of the City of Tempe, Arizona, do hereby declare May 2024 as Mental Health Awareness Month in Tempe, Arizona. Let's see here.
Green ribbons.
Chief?
You just know you can't hold on.
I can't hold on.
I don't.
If I hold on to this problem.
All right, thanks. Ready? 1, 2, 3, big smiles. One more like that. Big smiles and our turn. Thank you.
Right.
Thank you.
Congratulations.
And the last announcement I have this evening, 5A8, Tempe Board and Commission announcements. Just want to congratulate Alana Billingsley on her appointment to the City of Tempe Aviation Commission, Stephen Baines on his appointment to the Family Justice Commission. All right. And Regina Ponder on her appointment to the Parks, Recreation, Golf, and Double Butte Cemetery Advisory Board as outlined in item 7A1 on tonight's agenda.
Tanya's cracking up tonight. She's busted a gut again.
All right, next up here, to give myself an opportunity to get a glass of water, I'm going to turn to item 5B, City Manager's Reports and Announcements. Madam City Manager.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Nothing this evening.
Aha, well, I'll take a very quick drink of water here. All right, then. That moves us to item number 6, public appearances. According to the Arizona Open Meeting Law, the City Council may only discuss matters listed elsewhere on this agenda for discussion and legal action. The purpose of the open call to the public is to allow individuals to address the City Council on any issue within the jurisdiction of the City Council. No person shall speak more than once and must state their name. Oh, and there's a limit of 3 minutes per speaker. Speakers present at the podium must state their name and city of residence and provide a speaker card. Members of the public shall refrain from making personal, impertinent, or slanderous remarks and from becoming boisterous while addressing the City Council meeting. Speakers will be taken first come, first serve in the order in which the cards are received. Speakers' visual aids and appearances by phone or recordings are not allowed. Council members are prohibited by state law from taking action on, commenting, or discussing a matter raised by a member of the public, even if asked to do so by a member of the public, so long as the subject discussed by the speaker is not listed as a specific agenda item for council's consideration for discussion and legal action. At the conclusion of public appearances, the council may ask the city manager to review a matter or place a matter on a future agenda. That brings me to the cards, of which I will read them in the order in which they were received. The first speaker I have this evening is Michael Sim. Please come forward and state your name and place of residence. You have 3 minutes.
Thank you for having me here today. My name is Michael Sim. I live in the city of Tempe, and I'm the... Oh, okay, all right. Okay. And I run the Logical Foundation. It's a 501c3 nonprofit working to end the homelessness crisis and eventually poverty with unconditional cash transfers and universal basic income. While it's not an agenda item today, I would love it if we could have a discussion about this topic at some future meeting. But the main reason why I wanted to come here today was to invite all of the city council members, all of whom I've already sent invitations to, and one of whom has agreed to come, and also everybody else in the room to come to our major launch event. On Friday, May 10th, the Logical Foundation will be launching our first basic income program in Arizona. It's a charity fundraiser with free food, free drinks, interactive activities, a panel discussion, and a long opportunity for questions and answers and a lively discussion that is nonpartisan and apolitical in every way. So yeah, I would love to invite everybody to come. It's going to be at a location called Arizona Studios, which is right next to the airport, Sky Harbor Airport, on Friday, May 10th at 6 p.m. I've got a bunch of flyers over here. I could pass them out if you are willing. And thank you for having me here today.
Thank you so much. If you want to give the flyers to the clerk, she can make sure that they get around to everyone on council. So thank you. The next speaker I have this evening is Kim Gaffney-Loza. Please come forward, state your name and place of residence. You have 3 minutes.
Good evening, Mayor and Council. I'm Kim Gaffney-Loza. I'm a resident of Tempe. And I wish I could say this is my favorite subject, but this is actually one that's consuming me right now, and that is the pervasive stink net that is everywhere in our community. And isn't just in our community, it's all over the state. It's even in Paradise Valley, in wealthy homes, in areas that you don't have people with great wealth. It's non-discriminating. It is a very adaptable plant. You see it everywhere. And I know that Councilwoman Adams has asked for a presentation on this, but what I'm hoping for is a little bit more, that after a presentation, maybe we get to the point where the city can develop a comprehensive plan going forward to really combat this invasive plant from South Africa. This year was particularly bad because we had so much rain, but whether we get rain next year or the next year, we've put billions, if not zillions, of seeds into the environment. And I could talk forever on this, so I won't go into it in case, there's a presentation, I'm sure, that's going to bring all this up. But one of the things that I might suggest, just as an idea, I've got a lot of other suggestions about it, but CASCA, Central Arizona Conservation Alliance, is developing a door hanger. And maybe our code enforcement officers, when they go out, into the neighborhoods, even if it's not 6 inches tall, if they recognize it, they could just put an informational door hanger, on the house and just let people know. I know that we have put out information from the city about this, but a lot of it isn't getting through. Just walking in my neighborhood, and I talk about it all the time, I'm seeing yards full of it, alleys full of it. I spend almost every day just in Evelyn Hallman Park removing it. And it's in the preserve. I mean, it's just everywhere. So anyway, I'm just making an ask to please think about that possibility. And I appreciate the time. Thank you.
Thank you so much. The next speaker I have this evening is Jackie Watkins. Please come forward, state your name and place of residence. You have 3 minutes.
Thank you, Mayor Woods and City Council, for letting me speak today. Okay, is that better? Perfect. Okay, thank you. My name is Jackie Watkins, and I live in the Kiwanis neighborhood. I was born in Arizona, and all my life I have loved hiking in the desert. Tempe has some beautiful desert habitat, home to many species of birds, plus coyotes, rabbits, lizards, insects, and more. But how will the desert support life if the food chain is disrupted by vast areas of invasive stink net infestations? Nothing eats stink net, not even cows. What will desert animals eat once their home is reduced or destroyed by vast infestations such as I have witnessed in Indian Bend and many other areas? Like many in Tempe, I have been trying to mitigate stink net through my own initiatives in my neighborhood and elsewhere. I have also volunteered at pool events at Indian Bend Wash and Papago Park through Central Arizona Conservation Alliance, also known as CASCA, with Charlie Facemeyer, the program director, whose email is cfacemeyer@dbg.org. Most of my time volunteering has been in my long alley, About 50% of the residents in my shared alley take good and reasonable care of their alley area. The other half have very problematic areas with multiple kinds of other invasive weeds, making it easy for stink net to hide. In getting to know more neighbors connected to my alley, I find they are just not aware of stink net and appreciate learning about it. Until most residents are aware of issues around it, how can they help be part of the solution? I would like the city to increase resources for informing residents of issues about stink net, using more of the carrot and less of the stick of sending out code violations. The carrot may just be a greater effort towards education of issues such as allergies and extreme fire hazard in preserves. The Community Development Department needs more resources and funding. Consider getting a drone to survey the targeted problem alleys, followed by a huge blast of information and reaching out. There are many areas in Tempe needing stink net mitigation. As far as I can see, there are not enough volunteers in Tempe or elsewhere. I would like the city to provide greater visible support by sponsoring and organizing volunteers for stink net pulls. Volunteers working in concert with others can reduce the seed release of dried stink net. Join volunteer efforts with people like Charlie Facemeyer at the Botanical Gardens. Stink net is drying out, but much of it in Kiwanis neighborhood is in full bloom, and it's not too late this season to pull huge amounts of it.
I'm sorry, that's time.
Let's all do what we can.
Thank you so much, appreciate it. All right, the last card I have this evening is for Marion Choyu. Please come forward, state your name and place of residence. You have 3 minutes.
Hi, good evening, Mayor and Council. My name is Marion Choyu, and I live in North Tempe. In honor of Bike Month, I'd like to give the city of Tempe kudos for the work done when it comes to improving bike lanes and the quality of non-motorized transportation in general. There's one thing I'd like to comment on today. I was recently looking at the Adaptive Street project and the art that has been painted on the corner of La Jolla and McAllister, along with the bike lane near Broadmoor Elementary School. I thought this was beautifully done. I know we still have a long way to go when it comes to bike safety, but I'm really happy that we're embracing innovative concepts to get there. Along with other safety measures, I think it's with creative ideas like this that we can build community, a sense of ownership, and make our city safer at the same time. And I can't wait for some of this art to make it a North Tempe. Thank you.
Thank you so much. The next card I have this evening is from Kelly Choyu. Please come forward, state your name and place of residence. You have 3 minutes.
Hi, Mayor. Hi, Council. My name is Kelly Choyu. I don't have to spell it this time. I live in North Tempe. I'm actually here since it's the end of Bike Month, and I'm here to talk about bikes and how important they are for, I think, our community. It cuts down on pollution, and I just would love to see the city to keep moving in the direction of bike lanes. I'm going to read a few quotes as to why I believe fully protected bike lanes are separated from automobiles. If you're familiar with the accident where there are about 18 individuals hit in the West Valley, people write some really awful things about cyclists, and I think it is cause for concern. One comment is, how'd that work out for these guys? Might want to start worrying about those motorists behind you, because I don't know what the law states. My 2,500-pound vehicle has the right-of-way. Want to ride in the road? Then learn your place on it. Roadkill. We don't care what the law is. Absolutely no one likes being stuck behind bicyclists. No one. You're slow, get off the road, or risk what you see here in the video regarding the cyclists that were killed. Oh, well, guess they found out what happens when you sorry, can I curse?
You can say that.
Is that okay? Okay. Piss off that crazy driver thinking your toy owns the road. Y'all just need to get a Peloton and quit acting like you own the effing road. Well, if I get back in my truck, I'll make sure to take the bike lane. Nah, I get the laws. I'm just over a bunch of middle-aged dip acting like they need to ride. Cyclists should be treated like bowling pins. You're in the wrong lane, buddy. Move before my car hits your sorry butt, like your parents should have. It wasn't but. We need to hit bikers the way we hit women. It's amazing how much privilege bicyclists think they have. Most bicyclists don't think traffic rules apply to them. Glock, bang, bang. So I just wanted to read that. It's something that as cyclists we do read on a regular basis, even when cyclists are killed. I do know some cyclists don't follow the rule of the road, but majority do, and I think it is education-based. But for this reason, I think just so motorists are happy and not this angry and show this aggression towards cyclists, maybe separating us, having fully, and if you can't separate the bike lane from the road, please give us fully protected bike lanes, because I think if you don't, even new cyclists, they won't ride there because they fear for their safety. And that's about it. Everything else, you're doing great. I second my wife's comment. The art is amazing. Keep it up. So yeah, but thank you.
Thank you very much. Appreciate it. All right, that's all the cards I have this evening. Is there anyone else in the audience wishing to address the council? Please get my attention. All right, seeing none, I will turn to the consent agenda, which is listed as item number 7. All items listed on the consent agenda will be considered as a group and will be enacted with one motion by the City Council unless an item is removed for separate consideration. Members of the public may remove public hearing items for separate consideration. Public hearing items are also designated as public hearing item at the beginning of the item title. Council members may remove any item for separate consideration or to declare a conflict of interest. If a council member would like to declare a conflict at this time, the city clerk will provide the council member with a disclosure form. If you wish to speak on a public hearing item, please fill out a speaker card and submit your completed card to the city clerk prior to the agenda item coming forward for council discussion. I will call your name when it is your turn for public comment. This evening, the consent agenda is listed as miscellaneous, items 7A1 through 7A6, awards of bids and contracts, items 7B1 through 7B19, and resolutions, items 7C1 through 7C6. Once again, any item designated as public hearing item can be removed by a member of the public for separate consideration. If anyone would like to have a public hearing item removed, please get my attention now. All right, seeing none, I'll look to our clerk here to see if there were any comments received from the public wishing to address the City Council on a consent agenda public hearing item.
No cards on this section. Thank you.
Thank you, Madam Clerk. Council, any other agenda items that you'd like to have removed from the consent agenda for separate consideration?
Yeah, so move.
Okay, it's been moved. Do I have a second? Okay, the consent agenda has been moved for approval by Councilmember Hodge and seconded by Vice Mayor Adams. Please vote.
Yes.
And that item passes 7-0. That takes me to our non-consent agenda, which is item number 8 on tonight's agenda. All items listed on the non-consent agenda will be considered separately. Agenda items scheduled for introduction and first public hearing will be heard but will not be voted upon at this meeting. Agenda items scheduled for second public hearing and final adoption will be voted upon tonight. Council members who may have a conflict of interest may abstain from voting on a matter, and the city clerk will provide the council members with a disclosure form at this time. The first item under Section 8A is 8A1, which is to set a public hearing date of May 21st, 2024 for the Downtown Tempe Enhanced Services Improvement District Assessments for fiscal year 2024-2025. Council, any comments or discussion? It's been moved by Vice Mayor Adams and seconded by Councilmember Hodge. Please vote.
Yes.
That item passes 7-0. The next item under the section is 8A2, which is to approve an increase in the contract amount with Rimini Street Incorporated for the purchase of third-party software maintenance and support services for PeopleSoft Financials, Human Resources, and Payroll. Council, any comments or discussion? Okay, it's been moved by Vice Mayor Adams. Do I have a second? Seconded by Councilmember Navarro. Please vote.
Yes.
That item passes 7-0. Next up, item 8A3 has been removed from the agenda at the request of city staff. Therefore, a vote will not be taken on this item tonight. The next item under the section, therefore, is 8A4, which is to approve a one-year contract renewal with Reliant Gases LTD for the purchase of refrigerated liquid carbon dioxide for the Public Works Department. Council, any comments or discussion? It's been moved by Councilmember Hodge and seconded by Vice Mayor Adams. Please vote.
Yes.
And Councilmember Garland?
Yes.
Okay, and that item passes 7-0. The next item under the section is 8A5, which is to adopt a resolution authorizing a maximum dollar amount for an individual job order of up to $1,400,000 for the purpose of procuring construction services for flow metering station improvements, SROG, project number 3223021C. Council, any comments or discussion? It's been moved by Vice Mayor Adams. Do I have a second? Seconded by Councilmember Navarro. Please vote.
Yes.
And that item passes 7-0. The last item under the section is 8A6, which is to award job order number 6 to PCL Construction Incorporated for the project number 3223021C flow metering station improvements, SROG, located at 51 South Priest Drive and 2742 West Southern Avenue. Council, any comments or discussion? Okay, it's been moved by Councilmember Chin and seconded by Vice Mayor Adams. Please vote.
Yes.
And that item passes 7-0. The next section of the non-consent agenda is ordinances and items for introduction and first hearing. These items will be read and introduced tonight, but no votes will be taken. Second hearings on these items are scheduled for May 9th, 2024. The first item under Section 8B is 8B1, which is to introduce and hold the first public hearing to receive public comment on the fiscal year 2024-2025 annual action plan for the Community Development Block Grant, Home Investment Partnership Program Grant, and Emergency Solutions Grant. This is a public hearing item. Is there anyone in the audience wishing to address the council on this item? If so, please get my attention. Seeing none, I'll close the public hearing. Council members, any comments or discussion? All right, hearing none, once again, we'll reiterate the second and final public hearing on this item is scheduled for May 9th, 2024. The next item under the section is 8B2, which is to introduce and hold the first public hearing to adopt an ordinance for a zoning map amendment from CSS TOD to MU4 TOD, a planned area development overlay to establish development standards, and a development plan review for a new 7-story mixed-use development consisting of 275 dwelling units and commercial uses on 2 acres for Apache and McClintock, located at 1734 East Apache Boulevard. The applicant is Buse Gilbert McGroder, PLLC. Do we have a representative here for a presentation, which is customary for the first hearing?
Yes, you do, Mayor. Members of the council, Jeff Bliley here, pitch hitting for Paul Gilbert tonight, who's in Provo, Utah, attending 5 grandchildren's graduations from BYU.
I'm not going to argue with that.
So I will make the presentation, and I've got Kurt here with me to help answer any questions. Thank you. The site here is located approximately 2 acres at the northwest corner of McClintock Drive and Apache Boulevard. The site today contains the Pride Travel Center and former Sun Devil Car Wash, as well as a few small retailers, including Best Bud Smoke Shop, Cash for Gift Cards, and Cricket Wireless. The current uses are not pedestrian-friendly, transit-oriented, or supportive of the light rail. The site is ideally situated for our project. Not only is it located adjacent to Valley Metro Light Rail Station and severely underutilized, the site is also just 1 mile from ASU Tempe Marketplace and approximately 2 miles from the downtown Tempe and Tempe Beach Park. This project is well positioned to be a highly multimodal and well connected to many of the major destinations in the city of Tempe. We are proposing a 7-story mixed-use development consisting of over 8,400 square feet of ground floor pedestrian-oriented retail space and 275 multifamily units on the upper floors, including a mix of 1 and 2 bedroom and studio units. The building incorporates a distinct biophilic design that includes both horizontal and vertical landscape elements. Even with the 7 stories in height, we maintain compliance with the building height step back provisions of the city's development code. Staff confirms this in their staff report when they say, quote, development appropriately mitigates transitional impacts on the immediate surroundings. The ground floor retail along both Apache and McClintock is designed to be flexible and dynamic to meet a variety of future community needs and support small local businesses. The retail is highlighted by the main lobby that will feature a variety of small vendors, as well as a beverage bar near the elevators that will be open to the public. The fitness center along Apache is designed to double as a resident amenity, as well as a space that can be rented out to health and fitness professionals to host classes, studios, or other programs via virtual apps such as ClassPass for the general public to join and participate. Additionally, there is a dedicated restaurant space with outdoor seating, which will help engage and activate the public realm and create a more exciting pedestrian experience. As a highly multimodal community, this retail will be easily accessible by walking, biking, transit, and rideshare. And the project contains 2 decks of structured parking with access from McClintock Drive and Apache Boulevard. The parking garage will be virtually completely hidden from public view. We plan to install 5 EV parking spaces on the first floor that will be available on day 1, and we'll also install conduit in the parking garage that will allow us to expand this EV parking capacity on an as-needed basis. Staff supports the parking ratios given our proximity to the light rail. 2 examples of this flexible, dynamic lobby concept is Fairground Austin and Maven Hotel in Denver, pictured here. Please don't ask me about those examples, ask him. This marketplace-like environment will provide an affordable place for a variety of small local restaurateurs to come, grow, and scale their business. We have worked extensively with staff on this project through 4 formal site plan reviews and significant modifications to the project, which has gotten us to where we are today. And the staff report highlights 20 major changes we made during this process. Again, the building features a biophilic design and incorporates a variation of wall planes, materials, and colors to create visual interest on all 4 sides of the building. The primary focus is on the vertical green wall facing westbound traffic along Apache. The biophilic design is also embodied by the prominent landscaping elevated on the upper floors of the building. This design creates a unique identity and interest to the building while providing visual relief from the urban fabric along Apache corridor. We've incorporated significant material and color changes in response to feedback from both staff and the neighbors, and this includes using lighter colored materials to reduce how dark the building appeared, and generally incorporating lighter colored building materials at the building projections and darker building materials where the building recesses to better accentuate the articulation of the building and create more visual depth. We've also pulled the parapet on the north and west side of the building back approximately 10 feet to make the building appear shorter from the adjacent neighborhood. Lastly, we agreed at the DRC hearing to add additional trees on the north side of the property to better screen the building with vegetation. To accommodate this development, the development of this project, we initially submitted 4 planning applications for city review. The first was a minor general plan amendment, which is no longer needed given the adoption of the 2050 plan. A zoning map amendment request from commercial shopping and service to mixed use 4 to bring the zoning actually into compliance with the newly ratified general plan. A planned area development overlay to modify the parking standards, which is basically to implement the proposed urban code district for Tempe's urban core. This urban code district, supported by staff, calls for a maximum parking standard within transit corridors of up to 0.65 parking spaces per bedroom, which we would meet, and a maximum of 1 parking space per 400 square feet of retail floor area. We also applied for a major development plan review. The project is compliant with the newly ratified 2050 general plan, and the uses proposed are consistent with the 2050 general plan land use plan, which is exactly what we're proposing for this site. The project is also compatible with the Apache Character Area Plan, particularly the principles highlighted on this slide, including shade, mobility, streetscapes, transitions, pedestrian scale, green infrastructure, and walkable commercial that foster active living. Staff notes in their staff report that this project meets the approval criteria for all of our applications, with findings that this proposed plan is in the public interest and that the plan conforms with and facilitates implementation of the general plan. Additionally, we received a strong letter of support from the Citizens for a Vibrant Apache Corridor. In closing, redevelopment of a this project results in redevelopment of a severely underutilized site, prominently and strategically located adjacent to the light rail station. It's highly multimodal community, ideally located in close proximity to ASU, Tempe Marketplace, downtown Tempe, and Tempe Beach Park. We'll be providing over 8,000 square feet of dynamic, flexible, pedestrian-oriented retail. It supports the growth and development of small local businesses in the area. The integrated biophilic design softens the urban fabric while enhancing visual interest along the Apache corridor. The project is consistent with the general plan land use designation, goals, objectives, and strategies. It meets all the approval criteria for a zoning amendment, planned area development overlay, and development plan review. We have support from the prominent CVAC. We are in agreement with all of the conditions pursuant to the staff recommendation for approval, and we have a unanimous recommendation of approval from the DRC. And I'm happy to answer any questions, which will actually be answered by Kurt.
Wonderful. Thank you so much for the presentation. Appreciate it. Let me first, before I go to council questions, this is also a public hearing item. Is there anyone in the audience wishing to address the council on this item? If so, please get my attention. All right, seeing that, I'll close the public hearing. Council, any comments or discussion? Councilor Bedard?
I just want to say, great assessment. What a great need in that corner, collecting all those different parcels and what they're being used for now to what it's hopefully going to be. Outstanding. So I appreciate that. Thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else on council? Comments? Councilor Garland.
I like the building. I drove by that today. And the look that you have there looks like it would be a good fit, as Councilmember Navarro said. I like the green landscaping going up. That's a nice feature. It's nice to see some green on there, so I thought that was a good idea. I also appreciate that you guys were really looking at the character area. That's something that I think is an important thing that our community did. That you've got recognition or a letter from the community is also really wonderful. You know, the city of Tempe passed volunteer green building codes. And I was just wondering, I was trying to look through your paperwork on what can you tell us that you looked at for those green building codes? What have you put in there, or can you bring that back to us at a different time? Because I think it's really important. It is voluntary, but it's really important that we want to start seeing people step up and take the opportunity to volunteer to do that.
Thank you, Councilmember Garland. I'll actually call up the architect here. Sorry. I'll actually call up our architect here, Peter. He's the principal with our Circle West Architects. He can shine a little bit more light on that.
Great, thank you.
Good evening, Council, Mayor and Council members. Peter Koliopoulos, Scottsdale, Arizona. From a sustainability standpoint, you know, we started macro and then went down to the micro. So macro is some of the things that Jeff just mentioned as far as the context of site, bikeability, pedestrian access, all of that. And then from an architectural standpoint, we brought in and introduced the biophilic design, not only at the corner, but on Apache and McClintock as well, to provide as much shade as possible. Then from a material construction standpoint, that's where we're just now getting into the specificity of those materials. Obviously, through the DRC, we specified a lot of the materials that have a low emissions from where they're manufactured, the proximity of where they're manufactured relative to Tempe. So in going through the sustainability aspect of the project, generally speaking, we haven't gone through a specific guide, going through point by point of what you just mentioned, but there will be low water use fixtures. The mechanical units will be a high efficiency. The external envelope of the building will have an external, what we call external insulation around the building. So these are some of the strategic aspects that we're introducing.
I was just wondering if our sustainability department can send you that green code list, just that you could look at it maybe, and then see if you can apply anything else that you're doing in your building. Would that be wonderful? Okay, great. We'll have Eric Iverson, somebody in his department will take care of that. Thank you.
Okay, all right.
Thank you. Councilmember Chin?
No, thank you, Mayor. I just wanted to double down on Councilmember Garland's
remarks. The biophilic stuff is great, but I think my understanding of that is that really engages the occupant. And what I'm concerned about, and I think Councilmember Garland is asking about the building, and not just the interaction of the occupant and the building, but the building itself and how it's built, and looking at the IGCC. So it sounds like you're going to do that by connecting with staff. So I appreciate that.
Okay.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you. Vice Mayor Adams?
Yes, there are a lot of products that are recycled and can be put back into the buildings, and so just, think outside the box. And Eric is great at being able to help you, give you some ideas. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Sounds good. All right, any other comments or discussion from council?
Thank you.
All right, thank you.
All right, thank you, appreciate it. Once again, this is only the first hearing. The second and final public hearing on this item is scheduled for May 9th, 2024. The next item under the section is 8B3, which is to introduce and hold the first public hearing to adopt an ordinance authorizing the abandonment of a public water line easement located on the south side of Apache Boulevard and west of Rural Road. This is also a public hearing item. Is anyone in the audience wishing to address the council on this item? If so, please get my attention. All right, seeing none, I'll close that portion of the meeting. Council members, any comments or discussion? All right, hearing none, the second and final public hearing on this item is scheduled for May 9th, 2024. The last item under the section is 8B4, which is to introduce and hold the first public hearing to adopt an ordinance of the City of Tempe, Arizona, amending Chapter 26A Tempe City Code by adding Article 3 relating to the payment of prevailing wages on city construction contracts subject to the requirements of Title 34 Public and Building Improvements, Arizona Revised Statutes. I see staff here. Does council have any questions? I know there is. I'm going to actually open up the public hearing item first here because we do have one card. The speaker I have this evening is Ricardo Carlo. Please come forward, state your name and place of residence. You have 3 minutes.
Mayor and Council, my name is Ricardo Carlo. I'm the president of the Associated Minority Contractors of Arizona. I live in Phoenix, but I represent the entire state for the organization. I want to thank you for giving me the time to speak today and let you know about the prevailing wage. This is something that has caught the industry by surprise. We didn't know that there was a problem and something that needed to be fixed. A lot of our members and industry workers pay prevailing wage at or above. We didn't see why there's a need to have this program be brought into place. We have training, we have safety, we have everything necessary to provide quality projects throughout the state of Arizona. And if you look back through all the years, these projects throughout Arizona have been built by quality companies. So again, we're confused as to why this is a problem and why it needs to be remedied. We do everything that we can to help and also take care of our employees and everything else. The only thing is also the cost. That's going to be adhered to the small businesses who I represent. I actually polled my members, large and small, and they all came back with the same response that prevailing wage is just adds administrative burden because you're looking at tracking all the paperwork and you stipulate that in your remarks inside the ordinance that talks about Davis-Bacon. Davis-Bacon is a federal program. And so now we're looking at the city of Tempe stepping into a federal program in order to provide this. Now you're talking a lot of paperwork and tracking, not only on the company themselves, but the city itself. It's going to increase the cost on doing all the paperwork that needs to be done to follow everybody that's doing the work as far as on the prevailing wage. And there's different limitations when you look at the different operations. You know, you got an operator makes $30 an hour. He's operating heavy equipment and stuff, or she's operating heavy equipment, and all of a sudden there's no more work for her or him. So they get moving down to do, say, labor. There's a cost and difference on that hourly wage. That's got to be tracked. And guess what? That person who's operating the heavy equipment, they're going to get paid that lower wage. So they're going to be losing money as far as on their pay and everything else on the program and stuff. So there's a lot of things that are in there that, and I asked the council to please seriously look into this before you make a vote. And I would ask that you address the stakeholders in the state who actually represent these companies throughout the state of Arizona and see what the impact would be. Because I know that through my polling, a lot of my members came back and said, we used to do prevailing wage, we won't do it again. And so they will avoid prevailing wage. Now, the thing is that if you push these prevailing wages program into the city of Tempe, now you're alienating these companies that are quality companies that do great work and quality projects, and will not bid to do projects on the city of Tempe. So again, thank you for hearing me out and giving me the time to talk. And if there's any questions, I'd be more than happy to answer them for you.
Thank you so much. Appreciate it. Great. Thank you. This is a public hearing item. Is there anyone else in the audience wishing to address the city council on this item? If so, please get my attention. All right, seeing none, I'll close the public hearing. Council, any further comments or discussion for staff? Well, I should say there's staff is here in case there are any questions on the item or if you have any comments or questions. Everyone good? Okay.
Mayor, if you don't mind, I think you meant you closed the public testimony, or are you closing the public hearing, or are you?
Oh, I didn't say that? I'm sorry.
You said you were closing the public hearing, or?
Yes, yeah, closing the public hearing section and then going to council
you're done with
comments.
Discussion, okay, on that item, okay.
No, I'm saying I'm closing the public hearing portion and then going to the council for any comments or questions they have for staff. So is that okay, or?
That's part of the public hearing, so.
I'm so confused right now. Tell me what I did. I want to hear this. It's an education for
everybody.
everybody.
You closed the public testimony, so now the hearing is still open for council discussion.
Oh, okay.
I just want to make sure that was clear.
Oh, okay, sorry. We'll change it. The language of my script says to close the public hearing. So that's what. So we'll change that.
That's an error on our part.
We'll change that language going forward. Now I'm tracking. I get it now. Okay, perfect. Good. All right. So we'll close the public testimony. I'm going to have to start adding that to my script. Any comments or questions from staff? Councilmember Navarro.
Yeah, thank you, Mayor. And I just brought this up, and if staff have something on this, on when we talk about this prevailing wage, what does it mean to utilities and all the utilities?
Mayor, members of the council, good evening. Tom Dunsing, Chief Deputy City Manager.
Good evening, Mayor, members of the council. Lisette Camacho, Financial Services Director. Mayor, members of the council, public utilities would be subject to the ordinance if they are a contractor for a city construction project and the value of that project is $4 million or more. There are exemptions in the ordinance, so if it's GO bond funded, it would be exempt. But if they are serving as a contractor of the city and meets all the requirements of the ordinance, they would be subject to that ordinance.
All good? Okay. Anyone else on council? Any other comments or questions for Councilmember Garland?
I do have questions. So on the information that we published, it says on here that there's going to be an increase of 2.4 million to 7.3 million. Is that annually, or is that through the 5 years?
Mayor, members of the council, those dollar amounts you talked about, that's based on our current year CIP, so that's a one-year cost.
So every year that'll increase. And so we just had to go through our budget and do a lot of creative things. You did. I shouldn't say you did, because we lost $20 million from the rental tax. So those things, some of those changes were like holding on to jobs. We're not going to fill positions. A lot of other things that we did. Where will this money come from, and how? I know it goes. You had mentioned in the CIP. But how do we adjust for now more money that we would be spending when we just lost 20 million?
Mayor, members of the council, Councilmember Garland, I think I understand your question. As you mentioned, the majority of our CIP is not impacted by residential rental. However, we have a finite amount of revenues to support our CIP. So any cost increases, whatever they are, the way you absorb cost increases, there's really three ways. You either reduce the scope of a project, you defer a project, or you eliminate a project. So the revenues won't increase. What we have to do is work on the expenditure side of the ledger.
Okay, so if this passes, then we will have to look at the CIP then and come back and decide what is going to have to be reduced as scope or eliminated from the CIP that we've already approved.
Mayor, members of council, based on contracts that we would enter into, if we see cost increases, what staff would have to go back to and do is determine what other projects get impacted or if this project gets impacted. So it'll really be almost on a case-by-case basis, depends on how the bids come in for these contracts.
Okay. And then one thing that was just mentioned by the previous speaker, and I had not thought about this before, but what's the additional cost, and will we have an additional cost for an additional person or persons that would have to be hired to to do the work for the prevailing wage documents.
Mayor, members of the council, that's one of the reasons why we crafted the ordinance the way we did, is to minimize the administrative impact. So at this point, we don't think we would need to add additional staff. Time will tell. As we go through the CIP, if we determine that it's difficult for staff to administer, we'll come back and ask council for authorization. But at this point, we think we can administer it with staff we have.
Okay. Yeah, the cost part is a big deal for me. I believe all workers should be paid the right wages for the work that they do. I think that's incredibly important. I just think about the cost with the 20 million we just lost, and then adding this per year. And then on top of that, if the legislature goes back and they say they still want to do the food tax, we lose another 8 million for the city of Tempe. So I'm concerned about how this is, that we have to be great fiscal stewards of the money of our city, the taxpayers' money, and that just pops up in my head. So along those lines, I'm not sure if you can answer this, but Phoenix and Tucson are being sued currently for their prevailing wage that they passed in their community. The letters that have been posted, things have been posted that if we pass this, then we are going to be a part of that lawsuit also. Again, trying to be a good steward of our taxpayers' money. I want to know what additional costs will that be if we pass the prevailing wage?
Yeah, Mayor, members of the council, the one thing I can say, any cost of litigation would come from our general fund, which that's the fund we're losing the revenues. I'll look to our city attorney to talk about any costs of litigation.
Thank you, Mayor and Council. It's difficult to project, but it could be a substantial cost if we are joined to the lawsuit. We would have to have a further discussion as to how we would handle that, whether we handle it with our own in-house attorneys or if we seek outside counsel. If we did hire outside counsel, it could be a substantial cost. And either way, it'll be a resource cost because our in-house counsel have a certain amount of capacity. And if we're having them devote a lot of time to that, that may take them away from other cases. So.
Okay. Yeah, that again, the finances is an important one for me to think about because it's the taxpayers' money, not mine. And I just, I know we all talk about being good stewards of our cash, and I just wanted to know. So that's helpful. I don't think I have any other questions. I think they were all kind of worked in earlier. I think I'm good. Thank you.
Great. Thank you.
Sounds good. Thank you. Anyone else on council? Any further comments or questions? All right. Thank you, staff. Appreciate it. All right. This is only the first hearing, so I want to reiterate the second and final public hearing on this item is scheduled for May 9th, 2024. All right, the next section of the non-consent agenda is ordinances and items for second hearing and final adoption. So votes on these items will be taken this evening. The first item under the section is 8C1, which is to hold the second and final public hearing to adopt an ordinance authorizing the granting of a power distribution easement to Salt River Project Agricultural Improvement and Power District over certain city-owned land located at 1415 North Mill Avenue and authorizing the mayor or his designee to execute an easement agreement and related documents. This is a public hearing item. Is there anyone in the audience wishing to address the council? If so, please get my attention. All right, seeing none, I'll close that public testimony portion. Aha. Council, any comments or discussion?
So move.
It's been moved by Councilmember Hodge. Do I have a second?
Second.
Seconded by Vice Mayor Adams. Please vote.
Yes.
And that item passes 7-0. The next item under the section is 8C2, which is to hold the second and final public hearing to adopt an ordinance authorizing the mayor to execute an amended and restated communications site lease agreement with American Tower Asset Sub LLC for lease of cell tower site located adjacent to the Tempe Sports Complex. This is also a public hearing item. Is everyone in the audience wishing to address the council? If so, please get my attention.
Move to approve.
All right, I'll close the public testimony here. It's been moved by Vice Mayor Adams. Do I have a second? Seconded by Councilmember Navarro. Please vote.
Yes.
And that item also passes 7-0. The next item under the section is 8C3, which is to hold the second and final public hearing to adopt an ordinance authorizing the mayor to sign a purchase and sales agreement between the City of Tempe and Blue Reef Properties LLC for the acquisition of the property located at 1915 East Apache Boulevard for a non-congregate bridge shelter and declaring an emergency. Just want to note as well, the emergency clause requires a separate vote of 6 of 7 council members for approval. Therefore, 2 votes may be taken on this item. So this is also a public hearing. Is anyone in the audience wishing to address the council? If so, please get my attention. All right, seeing none, I will close the public testimony portion. Council, any comments or discussion? All right, once again, this item is going to require 2 votes. The first vote is on the adoption of the ordinance only, excluding the emergency clause in section 4. Do I have a motion?
So move.
Second.
It was moved by Councilmember Hodge. Was there someone over here?
Second.
Seconded by Councilmember Garland. Please vote.
Yes.
And that item passes 7-0. The second vote is to add the emergency clause in section 4 that would cause the ordinance to go into effect immediately upon passage and adoption. So the emergency clause reads that because of funding deadlines and the potential that the city may lose funding for the purchase of the vacant land, if not completed by April 30th, 2024, the immediate operation of the provisions of this ordinance is necessary for the preservation of the public peace, health, safety, and general welfare of the community. Therefore, an emergency is hereby declared to exist, and this ordinance shall be in full force and effect from and after its adoption by the City Council of the City of Tempe. So with that being said, I will look for a motion to adopt the emergency clause in order for the ordinance to become effective immediately. It's been moved by Councilmember Garland and seconded by Councilmember Chin. Please vote.
Yes.
And Vice Mayor? Yep. And that item passes 7-0. The next item under the section is 8C4, which is to hold the second and final public hearing to adopt an ordinance authorizing the mayor to sign a purchase and sales agreement between the City of Tempe and Blue Reef Properties LLC for the acquisition of a vacant lot located at 1911 East Apache Boulevard for support of the adjacent non-congregate bridge shelter or affordable housing and declaring an emergency. This is also a public hearing item. Is there anyone in the audience wishing to address the council? If so, please get my attention. All right, seeing none, I will close that public testimony portion. Council, any comments or discussion?
So move.
And this item, I want to make it requires 2 votes as well. So the first vote here is on the adoption of the ordinance only, excluding the emergency clause in section 4. It's been moved by Councilmember Hodge. Do I have a second? Seconded by Vice Mayor Adams. This is to adopt ordinance number 02024.10. Please vote. And that item passes 7-0. The second vote is to add the emergency clause in section 4. And that emergency clause reads that because of funding deadlines and the potential that the city may lose funding for the purchase of the vacant land, if not completed by April 30th, 2024, the immediate operation of the provisions of this ordinance is necessary for the preservation of the public peace, health, safety, and general welfare of the community. Therefore, an emergency is hereby declared to exist, and this ordinance shall be in full force and effect from and after its adoption by the City Council of the City of Tempe. So I will look for a motion and a second on this. Motion by Councilmember Chin, seconded by Councilmember Garland. Please vote. And, oh, I heard that, and that motion passes 7-0. The next item under the section is 8C5, which is to hold the second and final public hearing to adopt an ordinance authorizing the mayor to sign a ground lease between the City of Tempe and La Victoria Commons 4% LIHTC LP for the construction, development, rental, and operations of a LIHTC financed rental project comprised of 52 rental units, as well as parking, commercial space, and community space. This is also a public hearing item. Anyone in the audience wishing to address the council on this item? If so, please get my attention. All right, I'll close the public testimony. Council, any comments or discussion? Okay,
I was just going to say,
yes.
I was going to say, I'm really glad that we're doing this. I'm so excited about this project moving forward. We need it for our city.
Sounds good. Thank you, Councilmember.
Motion to approve.
Thank you, Councilmember Garland.
Second.
Okay, moved by Councilmember Garland, seconded by Councilmember Hodge. Please vote.
Yes.
And that item passes 7-0. The next item under the section is 8C6, which is to hold the second and final public hearing to adopt an ordinance authorizing the mayor to sign a ground lease between the city of Tempe and La Victoria Commons 9% LIHTC LP for the construction, development, rental, and operations of a LIHTC financed rental project comprised of 52 rental units, as well as parking, commercial space, and community space. This is also a public hearing item. Is there anyone in the audience wishing to address the council? If so, please get my attention. All right, seeing none, I'll close the public testimony portion. Council members, any comments or discussion?
Move to approve.
It's been moved by Vice Mayor Adams. Do I have a second? Seconded by Councilmember Chin. Please vote.
Yes.
And that item passes 7-0. The last item under the section is 8C7, which is to hold the second and final public hearing to adopt an ordinance authorizing the mayor to sign a ground lease between the city of Tempe and Newtown, La Victoria Commons LLC for the construction, development, and sale of 19 1, 2, and 3 bedroom townhome units. This is also a public hearing item. Is there anyone in the audience wishing to address the council on this item? If so, please get my attention. Seeing none, I'll close the public testimony portion. I'll move to the council for any comments or discussion. Councilmember Garland?
Second.
Okay, we do this. It's been moved by Councilmember Chin and seconded by Councilmember Hodge. Councilmember Garland.
I just want to say this is, again, it's the same project, but it's really incredible. What I really like about this one is that we're looking at doing townhomes. We're not looking, this isn't just apartments, this is ownership. And I just think this is a spectacular thing, so I'm really happy about it. So I just want to say that.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I was going to say a very similar thing. I mean, the wonderful thing about this project is not only is it much needed affordable housing in the city of Tempe that's done by some incredible organizations, Copa Health, Newtown, but also the fact that we're getting not only affordable rentals, but also affordable for sale units is really a huge win for the community. So I really am excited to see this move forward this evening. Anyone else? All right, please vote.
Yes.
And that item also passes 7-0. That brings us to item number 9, current events, council announcements, and future agenda items. Council members may request that an agenda item be added to a future council meeting during their allotted time, but in accordance with the open meeting law, there should be no discussion on the item other than to clarify the request. I'm now going to call on the council members for their comments, and this evening we're going to lead off with Councilmember Hodge.
Okay, thank you. Come join me on Saturday, May 18th at 8 a.m. to 11 at Tempe Town Lake. We are partnering with Keep Tempe Beautiful to do a cleanup, so please come all. And also, I'm excited for tomorrow because we're doing Music Under the Stars, and this is a great event. It's sponsored by the city of Tempe, but it's all 6 of my high schools will be a part of it, and we have another adult assembly is going to be, they always join, so it's a great event. So it's 7 to 9 tomorrow, and it's at the Diablo Stadium. That's it for me.
Thank you so much. Next up, Councilmember Keating.
Nothing from me, Mayor. Thank you.
Thank you. Next up, Councilmember Navarro.
Nothing for me, Mayor.
Thank you. Next up, Vice Mayor Adams.
Yes, I have several announcements this evening. Tomorrow is Arbor Day, and it's the 24th. Home to the actually, yeah, is Arbor Day. I apologize. Home to it started in my home state of Nebraska, so I'm very proud of this this day. And in 1872, J. Sterling Morton came up with this idea and talked to the Nebraska Board of Agriculture on planting trees, and they planted more than 1 million trees in Nebraska. So I'm very proud of that. And to celebrate Arbor Day, we are going to go to Rotary Park tomorrow morning at 8:15 and plant 10 new trees. So if anybody wants to come out and plant some more trees, I would love to have you come out. And then Saturday is Zero Waste Day from 7 a.m. to 1 p.m. at Kiwanis Park. And what you can do is you can basically anything that you can't put in your recycling blue bin, you can take to the park to recycle or have it disposed of. A lot of it is hazardous waste, so you can bring that on down. Just I'm just going to list a few of the things that they will take paper for shredding, building materials and scrap metal, clothing materials and household items, appliances and electronics, bikes and bike parts, pet food for those hungry pets, and supplies and other hazardous household waste. They also accept food donations. So if you would like to come down to Kiwanis Park and donate some food or some pet food or get rid of your hazardous waste, please come down at 7 to 1 p.m. on Saturday. Thank you very much. No further announcements.
Sounds good. Thank you so much. Next up, Councilmember Chin.
Thank you, Mayor. Just one about a really interesting and neat presentation that's available on Monday, April 29th on the ASU Tempe campus in the auditorium of the Walton Center that's on the southwest corner of Ruhlin University. There are two showings at 3 and 5 p.m., and what they will be showing and sharing are findings from Dr. Salon and a few of her colleagues who researched bicycling in Tempe from the perspective of the bicyclist. And it's by everything I've heard, some of the staff have attended, and they said it's interesting and it's fun and it's a light learning experience. So I encourage everyone to go. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Next up, Councilmember Garland.
Thank you so much. We have little green ribbons on for us for Mental Health Awareness Month, which is starts May 1st. I just want to say that we, out of Councilmember Navarro's, our committee, the Human Services and Community Safety Committee, one of the things we were interested in is trying to do a mental health roadmap or understand mental health and where can we get resources from. Happy to say that there is this really great, incredible flyer that you can get now. I've got it here, but there's some that are in the back, and you can also go online. If you go onto the city's website under the Community Health and Human Services Community Resource page, you can download this flyer. It's got some really great information about mental health in the city of Tempe and what you can do and where you can reach out to. So the next slide is, I met with Vice Mayor O.D. Harris from the city of Chandler. He's been doing a really great job on bringing mental health awareness to the forefront and getting people to start talking about it. We find that, so far too often, people suffer in silence with their conditions and their conditions don't get treated. So Mental Health Awareness Month is that time where you can get more information, have an opportunity to use resources and share experiences with other people. And so they have a really great program that they're doing in Chandler, and I'm just encouraging anybody, I'm saying that about this event being in Chandler, I'd love to have an event here in Tempe, but mental health doesn't have a border between Tempe and Chandler. So I would invite you and encourage you, if you get an opportunity, to go to this Breakthrough Mental Health Conference. It's on May 4th from 9 a.m. to 1 p.m. It's going to be a great program. And I'm really looking forward to going there and seeing what they have to say and what they do. And really, again, mental health doesn't have a border, so please look out for your friends and your family. And if you need any other information, again, you can go on to our City of Tempe's website. So thank you.
Thank you. And Vice Mayor, you had another correction?
Yeah, I had a correction. Tomorrow's actually April 26th. It was incorrect in my notes. And that is Arbor Day. So not the 24th, the 26th. So thank you.
Mayor, can I say
apologize for my misspoke.
No worries. Thank you. Councilmember Hodge?
I just want to say my brother watches every one of our meetings, and his birthday's coming up on Monday. So I just wanted to say happy birthday, Jerry, and I love you.
All right. Excellent. All right. I don't have any announcements this evening, so that takes us to item number 10, public appearances. Is there anyone in the audience who would like to address the City Council this evening? If so, please come forward and state your name and city of residence for the record. All right, seeing none, I will close item number 10 and go to item number 11, which is adjournment. The next regular scheduled City Council meeting is scheduled for May 9th, 2024. We are adjourned. Have a great evening, everyone.